So boys and girls, it is story time presented by the GOAT. It took a while to get to this point. I almost never made it here. I'm going to recap for you the craziest day in the history of Mr. Sports Travel's trip as of this moment, other than the 52 hours in detention in Central African Republic. That was 2 months ago. I already done a video about that. Watch that video. So boys and girls, Sunday I get to the airport in Lagos, Nigeria. I get to the counter. I gotta change planes in Abidjan, the Ivory Coast, where vampires, mummies, and no Holy Ghost gonna see I be the greatest of all time. And I already been to the Ivory Coast. I ain't worried about that. My problem is, I get to the counter and the dude looks at my visa and says, "Your visa expired." I said, "Brother, my visa ain't expired. I ain't the smartest. You think I came to this airport trying to get on a flight with an expired visa?" Well, here's the deal, Lemon Peel. When I paid this jack $150 to get me a visa here to Liberia, there was one little problem with the visa. They put the wrong year on it. They said that the visa going to expire 2024. Oops, we in 2025. But because I know people who know people who know people who know people, mainly the guy that runs immigration in Liberia, he's like, "Oh shit, we fucked that up. Sorry, Mr. Sports Travel. We're going to get that corrected." And thank God they did. But let me just say, I was a little stressed out. Can you blame me? But wait for it. There's 2 more stories I got to tell you. Then the second one is, I change in the planes in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. You know, so you got to go through security again. And I like the people of the Ivory Coast. I had a good time there. I saw football, I saw basketball, I saw taekwondo, because, yo, I'm the greatest of all time sportsman travel. But I'm trying to get through security there, and they take out my bag, and they're going through every single pocket in my bag. I'm thinking, brothers, I just got off my flight from Nigeria. Don't you think they got security in Nigeria? You think I went out and bought myself a drone or a gun, and then somehow got back in the airport? Come on, man. So anyway, they forget to give me back my camera. And only because I'm the greatest and my mind is still sharp at 52 or 53. I'm really 53, don't worry, I haven't gotten out of my hand. Did I remember that? Oh, wait a minute. My bag feels a little bit lighter here. Something's not right. Oh, that's right. Shit, I left my camera back at security. So I ran faster than I did when I was training in Pennsylvania Hills, getting ready to whoop the shit out of George Frazier or George Foreman. I whooped so many people, I don't remember who I whooped. I still have speed and agility, and I found my thrill on this trip in Liberia, in Brazzaville. So I go back and I get my camera, and I get on my flight. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, the rest of the day it's gonna be piece of cake. Piece of cake, ain't nothing crazy gonna happen. No. The one thing about Africa, you know that thing they say about life? You got death, you got taxes, and you got change. And I'm talking about the change in your pocket that changes every day. Because sometimes you got a lot of change, sometimes you ain't got shit in your pocket in terms of change. And change in your life. Like I used to have more hair, I do not despair. This is my real hair. Change in life. The other given, there is never, ever a dull moment in Africa. This is my 45th country. And take it from me, Daffy Duck. Welcome up in all the wrong places, welcome up, or buckwheat. This is my 45th African country, ain't never a dull moment, all the 45 countries. And I got 9 left, it ain't gonna be a dull moment. So I get off the plane, Jane, in here, Liberia. I made it to Liberia. Oh, you think I was stuck in Ivory Coast? Stay with me. I get off the plane, and for some reason, I'm trying to retrieve my glasses. My sunglasses, the ones I'm wearing. And in my pocket was my boarding pass. And it's flying willy-nilly like the feather did in the movie Forrest Gump. Remember Forrest Gump? And a little feather floating in the air. That was like my boarding pass, except it's floating back to Nigeria. And I'm running on the tarmac trying to stamp it. Because I'm the greatest, I cut up with that boarding pass that was flying. Says, I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. So after all these 3 stresses, I'm like, all right, I'm just ready for some football. And I did, I saw 3 football matches. Oh, technically I only saw 1 full match. Because the airport in Liberia, it's in Hooterville. It's a nice airport, but it's in the middle of nowhere. It took me an hour to get to that. And the flight was late. And Airport of the Ivory, did they apologize? No, they didn't. But did they give me an extra sandwich when I asked for? Yeah, they did, because they don't want to mess with me. So, silly like willy-nilly. So that was my story on Sunday. I almost didn't make the country. I almost lost the camera that I'm using right now. And I almost lost my boarding pass. But Mrs. Morrison, what's with the boarding pass? It's history, brother, to prove I came here. I paid for the ticket. I want my boarding pass. I ain't gonna let no wind take my boarding pass. You follow? Boys and girls, I got to run. down this here beach to check out more of this here pretty city. Hope you enjoyed the show and the story, Kokomo. Bye.